to tell this story just because it's personal, it's private, and it's gross. But, hey, let's all be adults here. If it's about ultimate health, if it's about really fighting the globalist agenda from all the GMO and all the artificial things that are in our food, the melamine plastic, the heavy metals, the toxins, the fluoride, the Grignard reagents, we need to tell the people. Now, Dr. Group develops many of the products that we have at InfoWarsLife.com. So part of this is, you know, an infomercial. I mean, I do this a couple times a month. That's how we fund our operation. But in the mainstay, this is not an infomercial. 90% of this is pure informational, and are things you can do without us that'll have a dramatic effect. A big effect. Everyone knows that the liver is toxic. People are getting liver cancer and having liver failure and problems all the time who've never had a drink in their life, who don't have liver problems in their family history. It's the body's filter, along with the gallbladder and the kidneys. But it's the key one. One of the biggest organs inside of your stomach, inside of your chest area, inside of your abdomen and torso. And when you eat all these toxins, if you ate McDonald's nuggets 20 years ago that had plasticizers in them, your gallbladder and your liver doesn't know what to do, so the liver basically excretes that into the gallbladder, and it holds it. And if you're a TV viewer, I'm going to put this on screen. Just Google gallbladder stones, and it's disgusting, but you need to look at it. And when you finally get filled up with these, it bursts, or it gets infected, and they've got to remove it. And we'll scroll through these. There's even grosser ones. Like, let's scroll down. On average, they're green or black. If they're black, they're really old and toxic. They're generally green. And this stuff's meant to be passed out of you, but we eat such artificial food that it doesn't. These are way beyond kidney stones, you name it. You also have liver stones. And medical doctors won't tell you on average, hey, flush your liver. They'll just say, hey, your liver's sick. It's going to get progressively worse. We're going to get you on a list for a liver transplant. It is unbelievable. We're showing these disgusting images. So about a year and a half ago, Anthony Gucciardi just said, man, I just did a Dr. Gribb's liver cleanse, the one he recommends. And he's developing this proprietary stuff. He's testing on himself right now. You really ought to do it. The results are dramatic after 6 days. And I'm like, no way I'm doing it. I don't believe that there's giant black or green balls in my gallbladder. I mean, this is how ignorant I am. And he's like, look at it online. I'm not looking at it online because stuff like that grosses me out. I don't want to go there. Well, finally, about 6 months ago, they convinced me to do it. So the regimen is for 6 days, and I don't sell this. The best is Bragg, certified 100 years, organic, raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. It's got the mother in it, as they call it, unpasteurized, naturally gluten-free. It's one of the best probiotics out there. We do not sell this. You take this 4 times a day in water, a couple teaspoons or tablespoons, and you take the Oxy powder, 4 to 7 tablets at night, depending whatever you need. I just started it last night. And after you've done this a few times, it doesn't take 3 or 4 days to flush you out. It starts right away for me. This morning, it was there. Took 4 tablets last night. Took my first apple cider vinegar. I'll do that for 6 days. On Saturday evening, I will drink about 7 ounces of organic olive oil before bedtime. I'll lay on my right side that has the gallbladder and the liver. And healthy people, it happens the next morning. I obviously wasn't healthy. It took 2 days. I said, see, it didn't happen. Well, 2 days later, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking a toilet full of black and green gallbladder and liver stones. And Anthony goes, you got to do it again and videotape it. I said, no way. Well, actually, Buckley was saying that. Because, yeah, it will sell a lot of Oxy powder, and we've come out with a proprietary thing that he's developed the last 2 years. The new product we're launching today, Liver Shield. And you know what? I just said, so what? I'm all about being real and transparent. We'll talk about it. Now, about 3 or 4% of people, it doesn't happen the first time. Your gallbladder is so compacted, so full, so jammed full of stones that it doesn't even happen, and it takes several cleanses to do it. And understand, talk to your physician first, because, you know, I haven't heard of this, but, you know, if it's already totally full, trying to push all that out the first time might have some bad effect. I mean, you know, if your liver and your gallbladder are already totally screwed up, who knows what this will do? All I know is the amount of energy I got after this was dramatic. I mean, within a day, it was incredible. And my skin got healthier, and my energy went up even more. Basically, I've slowly followed everything Dr. Group has said, and now I'm following almost everything he says, and it's life-changing. So today we're launching Liver Shield. He's here to talk about what's in it. You take 4 or 5 squirts of this 2 or 3 times a day in with the apple cider organic vinegar. You take your oxy powder at night, and it is totally, absolutely dramatic. Both of these are available at InfoWarsLife.com. Liver Shield exclusively. And I'm so honored that as he developed his own liver cleanse a few years ago, that he started pushing this on me before he even allowed us to come out with it. So I was trying this 6 months ago, obviously, before I rolled it out. And I finally did it because they just said, look, it's real, do it. We want to offer you this as it rolls out. It's dramatic, and you just got to try it for yourself. If you just, it's like changing fuel filters or oil filters. If you just let all that garbage pass out of you, if you just try it, it is a life-changing event. InfoWarsLife.com to get the Liver Shield that is key to have the full release happen, and oxy powder. And then, of course, what they recommend is apple cider vinegar Bragg, B-R-A-G-G, over 100 years out there, put out by an ND PhD with his wife, ND PhD, pioneer health crusader, health educator, authors, original health stores, life extension supplement. Again, we don't sell this. You can get it at any good health store. It all goes together. And joining us to break down how this super cleanse works is Dr. Group. Now, you can take Liver Shield every day and have an effect. And some may start getting released after a few weeks, a few here, a few there. But if you want to vomit all this up, it just doesn't come out the top, it comes out the bottom, it's dramatic. I mean, when you realize this was in you, folks, it is insane. It is insane what we do to ourselves, and that nobody talks about this. Dr. Group, we're going to break here in a few minutes, but I'm talking about this personal experience. And I remember telling Anthony and you on the phone, I'm like, you know, I'm days into this. After it didn't happen. You're like, oh, man, that shows you're really backed up. And then I was going to the movies. I had to run out, and it was super dramatic. And exactly what you said. And I'm told it's worse that they were black and not green. I hate to talk about this, but what does this mean, Dr. Group?
Well, first of all, you know, I was kind of skeptical myself about the best way to cleanse the liver, but it didn't take too long to realize when I started looking at the root cause of all disease. And then, obviously, we've talked about it many times, the toxins that people consume from the air, the food, the water, and everything that come into the body. There were 2 things that I found that the medical profession never wanted you to find out about and didn't teach a lot in medical school. And those were the actual organs in the body that regenerate themselves. The liver is the only organ that regenerates itself completely in 3 months. The intestines don't fully regenerate themselves, but the intestinal lining does. It's made of epithelial cells, and that regenerates itself every 24 hours. Well, then you look at all the disease-causing toxins. Well, where do the disease-causing toxins go? They come in through the intestines, and they get processed through the liver. So our philosophy and our research led us to, if we keep the intestines clean and if we can cleanse the liver, well, that should be, then the liver could process the toxins and eliminate the toxins, and the intestinal tract could eliminate the toxins.
Sure, but I mean, what do the different colors of the gallstones mean? And I guess a normal gallbladder, I was reading, is supposed to be loaded with these.
Well, what we found out over the years is that the majority, over 90% of the population, has an accumulation of liver stones and gallstones, and those can be a combination of.
Well, mine were little and black. What does that mean?
Well, usually the black ones have been there for a long period of time, and they attract different types of metals and other types of chemicals, xenoestrogens especially, which damage the liver cells, and also the used up bile that is normally green but can turn black over a period of time. They're they're not technically, there are some stones that contain calcium, but they're more like cholesterol globules that build up in there.
So it's not good that I was loaded with black stones.
No, because what happens is the liver performs like 500 different functions in the body, and that means it is the filtration system in the system. It helps fight off infection, it protects your immune system, neutralizes toxins, manufactures proteins, hormones, it helps control blood sugar. So when the liver is fatty and toxic, which most people have a fatty and toxic liver, and most people don't know how easy it is, every single disease and symptom that people are associated with out there that the medical profession is diagnosing is associated or doesn't start until your liver becomes fatty or cirrhotic or your liver becomes malfunctioning. And with our research, we found that probably people only have 20% of their liver functioning on a daily basis. And that's what reactivates your body's own self-healing mechanism.
Why did I get so much more energy when, because I'd already gotten a lot following your directives, but once this happened, it was dramatic.
Well, the liver filters about 1.5 quarts of blood every minute. So think about if you had an oil filter in your car that was full of gunk and it was fatty and the oil couldn't press itself through there anymore. Ultimately, it would lead to disease and it would lead to malfunction.
The engine starts sputtering. Oh, I forgot the other part. I'm not a heavy drinker, but I do drink occasionally and I have a few drinks, a few glasses of wine. I've had Italian food. After I did the cleanse, alcohol had a much bigger effect on me.
Well, that's because your liver is starting to actually function again and repair itself. And that's the good news that I personally think everybody should go through a liver cleansing if you haven't done one, and then take for example, the Liver Shield can be taken 2 different ways. It can be taken as a liver support formula, where you just take a couple dropperfuls, but that's not going to purge the liver and remove all that stuff from it. In order to do that, you have to do the 6-day
Well, I'm going to walk through how the liver works, the different types of cleanses with you, and give you the floor, but I'm asking a lot of selfish questions here up front. How does the apple cider vinegar organic with the oxy powder and with the liver trex over the 6-day cleanse, how does it then when you take the olive oil at the end, lay on your side for an hour as you go to sleep, why does it then have the gallbladder release?
Well, this is something that that is a very controversial issue, but results speak for themselves. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people have done this, and it dates back even 1,000 years, drinking oils to cleanse and purge the liver. Actually, the Greeks and over in India with Ayurvedic medicine have done it the same way. But how it works is what you should do, and this is what our proprietary research led us to do back starting in the early 90s when we were looking at the best ways to cleanse the liver, was to develop an herbal formula that contains herbs that will help soften or break down these globules or these stones in the liver and the gallbladder. And that's really what the first 5 days is for. That's where you mix the bottle of Liver Shield. You pour the whole bottle in a gallon of distilled water, and then you drink 4 8-ounce glasses a day of that for 5 days. At the same time, though, you're also using the apple cider vinegar, and the full instructions will be up on your site probably by the time that we get done talking about it, because we were making some modifications before I came on. So I recommend, and that's going to be the liver flush kit that you guys that we put together exclusively for InfoWars, viewers and the people that want to support the InfoWar. So basically once you do that for 5 days, and of course you want to eat fairly healthy, you don't want to be putting a bunch of chemicals and toxins into your body. But then on day 5 is when you actually do the olive oil, and when you do Epsom salts, and the Epsom salts that you drink will actually help relax the bile duct and make it a lot more elastic, so any of the stones can pass through there, or the globules, the toxic globules. And then when you you drink the olive oil, you lay on your right side because your liver is on the right side, and that heavy oil ends up absorbing down through your intestinal lining and going into the liver. And it kind of works like oil pulling, which is a big thing now. It was on Dr. Oz with the coconut oil, where you swish it in your mouth, and oil has an affinity for toxic substances and absorbs some of those. And when you do the liver cleanse, you will actually form also little oil globulates as well. So the reason why you take during the flush, the liver